I've only got one question to you. Do you show up to a battlefield without a sword? Because I feel like that's what most of you guys are doing to the market. You show up to the open market without a strategy, without friends, without an army, and you expect to win somehow. I think this is probably the biggest mistake I see people doing. They enter the world of crypto and it's a complete open battlefield. Every single project you see right here is a separate battle for money. And you show up without a weapon. Then you try to bring a sword like this, the one I just showed you. And you don't realize that there's always gonna be a guy with a bigger sword. And that's just gonna happen on repeat. You show up with a small sword, you show up with a bigger sword, and the other guy shows up with an entire freaking army. You are on an open battlefield and you're gonna go up against every single one in crypto. Exchanges, whales, people with millions of dollars and connections and market manipulation. All of this is gonna happen. So you need to have a solid strategy. If you show up to the battlefield and you don't even have a sword, and I'm standing there with my small little community, even me as a small player on the market, on the battlefield, I'm gonna cut you down and I'm gonna take your money. So imagine what happens when you show up to a big exchange and they're standing there, an army with big giant two-handed swords. They're gonna cut you down. So I think that's a great start to this video. This is gonna be the beginning of something amazing. Once a week, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna talk about the market, I'm gonna talk about our wins because this has been an amazing week. Actually, the third amazing week in a row right now. This week we had 100% success rate on these 4 trades and move even going up to 122% gains. Actually sitting there right now. I'm actually going to talk about move here a little bit later in the video because it's a very interesting project. We are going to cash out this project, but I'm also going to show you guys my strategy on how I ride projects for even bigger gains. Right now sitting at the 122% gains. But how do you make that 500%? When do you decide on when to cash out and similar? There's a lot to talk about in this video, so just sit back, relax. I'm gonna go through the entire market and keep you guys up to date. I see so many people in the comments on repeat just commenting like, oh, I put money into this, now it went down. What am I supposed to do? Like, what the hell? What were you thinking? Just throwing money around, not even having a strategy. If you want to see kind of the history here, we have this current week right here. Massive gains, 100% success rate. Every single guy here that joined the memberships, joined the community on Patreon, they have now made money. Just this morning, one of the guys here in the Next Gen Elite membership, he cashed out his gains for the same trades that I did. I am posting them live for all of you guys to trade along. Of course, we're not always gonna have a 100% success rate, but these 3 weeks that we have been doing this, ever since I started the community and started inviting people into my own strategy, we have been making massive gains. Scrolling down here to the previous weeks, we have 6 trend flips right now, 6 new opportunities. Scrolling even further down, we have 6 trades last week going into massive profit, 100% win rate on 6 trades. So stay tuned for later in the video. I will go through my own personal strategy. If you watch this entire thing, by the end of the video, you will know exactly what to do. You will know exactly what is the next step for you personally. Okay, so now you have seen the history, 3 weeks of amazing trades. I hope all of you guys have been able to nail those trades. So talking about move here before we actually move on to the next part of this video, this project has just recently pumped and we nailed it perfectly. If you see here, when the trend indicator flipped into green, we put in a long position, a massive long position, and right now sitting at 60% gains with 1x leverage. But as you guys know, we are trading with 2x leverage, a long position, 2x leverage, 122% gains. We nailed this perfectly. This is similar to how all projects launch that have a lot of momentum, that have a lot of hype. They launch, they pump, they crash. A lot of people end up losing money right here. And then they don't know if the project is gonna pump again, so they actually cash out their loss. And then often when a project has a lot of backing, a lot of support, it's gonna end up pumping again. We have seen this before with Sui. I'm gonna bring this up. This is probably gonna be the last time because I know you guys are getting tired of watching the Sui trades, but this has been one of the most amazing trades I've ever done. Sui launched and most people hyped into the project. Every single YouTuber out there was talking about this project and they hyped into the market right here. And then they ended up writing down, look at this loss here. Probably most of the money was flowing in right here, ending up losing 70 to 80% of all their money. And then cashing out, FOMOing in on this bad boy, trying to make all of their money back, ending up hanging on to their trade for way too long, probably not even making a lot of money here. Let's say you saw the project pumping right here, and right around here we're like, oh shit, now the project is going. I've already lost all of this money. I might as well enter the project again. You enter the project, it pumps all the way up here, double your money, and you're like, nah, I need more money. I need to triple my money in order to make the money back that I lost right here. You hold the project all the way until here, and you end up losing money somehow once again. This project we nailed perfectly. With the trend trading strategy, with some basic technical analysis, we enter trades on the 4-hour time frame. I'm gonna wrap this up to the move trade here real soon, but as you guys can see here, the downtrend began on the 4-hour time frame all the way back here, right up here on $1.3, heading back into the daily time frame, scrolling back here, and you guys will see how beautifully this played out. $1.3 all the way down here, 70% short, 2 to 5x leverage. That's like a 5x. I've talked about this so many times. Heading into this uptrend, when the trend changed, we held it all the way up here into the trend change right here, making 300%. 2x leverage, that's a 6x, that's absolutely magical. And then we had 2 small losses here, 12% on this here, 12% on this here, the little fake outs. The double top confirmation into a solid downtrend confirmation. We held this all the way down here. As most people lost 80% of their money in this run here, we made a solid 100x. Moving back to move, how is this gonna play out? Checking in on move on the 4-hour time frame, we have a trend confirmation, and this is where we traded and made 122% gains. Now, do we decide on cashing out or sticking in with the trade? That is all up to how we want to trade it. I think it's fair enough to cash out on this trade right now. We don't know where it's going, and it's kind of stagnated right here on this support and resistance line around the $1 mark, and we can't really predict where it's gonna go from here. If we zoom in, like if we go to the 2-hour time frame, we put out some more technical analysis here, we can kind of see a downtrend being confirmed right here. Within 6 to 8 hours, you are gonna know if you're gonna stick in with the trade. That's probably how I'm gonna play this out. I wait for another 6 to 8 hours, pulling out the brush right here. We can see it's gonna probably bounce in between here, gonna decide on a breakout or a breakdown. That is when we will decide if we stick with the trade or not. The 4-hour trend is in a solid uptrend, but as you guys know, we enter trades on the 4-hour time frame and we hold trends on the daily time frame. You can't see shit on the daily time frame still. The project has not been live for long enough, so all we gotta do is just wait this one out. I'm gonna use the 2-hour time frame in order to play this trade here perfectly. If we have a solid breakout, then I'm gonna stick with the trade and hold it out. Maybe we can do a SUI out of this, make another 500%, 600% in just one trade. That would be absolutely glorious. But all in all, this is just one of those places where I would suggest all of my followers on Patreon, everyone that nailed this trade with me, just cash out the trade, take the money, be happy. It's almost Christmas. Just take that money, be happy about the gains, and then you can enter on another trend change. This project is not over. We are gonna trade this project for years to come. This is an absolutely amazing opportunity. I love it when we have projects like this that hype like crazy. Every single guy on YouTube is talking about Move doing 100x, and then it just starts so epically by going down. We can short the project, we can long the project. It's so easy to follow the trends. So as we all are celebrating this week's gains, 100% win rate, 4 solid trades, and Move going into 122% gains. I've actually cashed out the shorts already because the market is being absolutely crazy. It's going ham right now. People are being swung around like crazy. This $100,000 Bitcoin is absolutely insane. So I think the only fair thing we can do is talk about Bitcoin, analyze Bitcoin. What's gonna happen next for Bitcoin? It is a big deal because Bitcoin is going to be the deciding factor for how we play these future trades. One of the big reasons we were able to nail these trades right here, the 3 big shorts, is because Bitcoin entered a solid downtrend confirmation on the 4-hour time frame right here. This dip all the way down here, this was pure luck. We didn't know it was gonna break down this far. All we knew is that downtrend confirmation, it's probably gonna break down through 100k. If that happens, all the altcoins are probably gonna break down as well. Let's put out some technical analysis and try to understand this graph as well as possible. How are things gonna play out in the future? How can we use this for our advantage? What we want want right now is for Bitcoin to break through 100k again and go for a solid uptrend. If that happens, I think we could actually see move head into 500% gains for us. For most people, holding a trade like that could be life-changing amounts of money. Let's put out some trend lines. We have the 100k support and resistance level right here. It's actually very precise in how it touched this. We have a solid downtrend right here. It's very, very sharp. And as you can see, it's kind of broke out through this. It's so very, very sharp. I think it's just absolutely crazy seeing a project like Bitcoin here breaking down so rapidly. Such a solid confirmed downtrend. It was unable to break out through this so many times. Then it fell through the 100k level and just crazy fast, just within 8 hours dipped all the way down to 92k, bounced all the way up again. I can't believe how many shorts and longs were wiped out right here. People playing with too much leverage. We will get into my personal strategy here real soon, how I short, how I long, the leverage, the stop losses, all of that we will talk about in this video, but just stay with me for now. It's very important that we understand Bitcoin properly. What is going on right here? I think it's safe to say, just taking a quick look at this graph, Bitcoin is trying to stay above 100k, but it's failing. I think it's safe to say here, the reason that Bitcoin has been having trouble staying above 100k is because of the insane amount of progression that it did all the way down here from 16k all the way up here. I think Bitcoin actually went down a bit too far here due to what happened in the world during all of this. I think Bitcoin should have stayed around 40k actually after this bull run, and then we would easily see a 100k, but so many people enter Bitcoin right here, and then when they started seeing the uptrend, so much money was flowing into Bitcoin. So many whales are holding Bitcoin with so much market power that when you end up going all the way up to 100k, all of the guys like me with the small swords, we are standing here in the battlefield and we want to make some money as well. But the guys with the big swords, they are standing all the way up here on the battlefield with the big swords and they are gonna pull the strings. You have zero control on keeping Bitcoin above 100k, but they know exactly what they're doing. If we look on the faster time frame here, you can see many opportunities for them to buy, push it above 100k, falls back down again, they can buy more. The amount of times that they have been able to buy more Bitcoin here below 100k, it's absolutely amazing. So through all of this information, what are we gonna do personally? How can we utilize this pattern, this technical analysis, this trend trading indicator to our advantage to know what to do next here? If we look at Bitcoin here on the daily time frame, it's still in a solid uptrend. It could flip into a downtrend, but as we see here, we have had some fake outs before. That is completely fine. Then we will just trade it with the fake outs, because the fake outs last for so many days. Most of the time, you still end up making money. Bitcoin will be the deciding factor for our altcoin trades. That is why we will be looking at it on the 4-hour time frame. The best way that this can play out here is if Bitcoin enters an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, breaks through 100k, move, stays in an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, doesn't fall below here, just stays above here, and when Bitcoin pumps, this is gonna pump as well. Enters an uptrend on the daily time frame here, very shortly we're gonna have a trend forming right here. If all of those three things happens here with move, I think we could see a 5x to 10x trade here on move. This is gonna be absolutely glorious. But if Bitcoin fails, if move fails, the trend is gonna go into red and we're gonna have to cash out our trade. That is why I think most people should cash out this trade right now. Secure your money. You doubled your money from this trade. Just cash out your goddamn trade. Take your money. Be happy with it. Bitcoin is in a solid fight against people with small swords, no swords, big swords, big armies out on the battlefield, and everyone is trying to grab as much Bitcoin as possible before it keeps on pumping. The funny thing is here that, of course, it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to stay above 100k. Bitcoin could lose the fight and go into another downtrend, and this could be the end of this bull run. We don't know. Just like they say in The Wolf of Wall Street, the market could be going up, down, sideways. Nobody actually knows, but we are playing the game on the battlefield. Everyone is out there fighting for money, trying to cut everyone else down and take their money. That is what we're seeing here. That is why the market is struggling like this. This is an intense battle right now with Bitcoin. Simply, I don't care where Bitcoin is heading next. I'm gonna trade it anyways and just make as much money as possible. If Bitcoin heads down, I'm gonna short the shit out of it. If it breaks 100k again and heads into a solid uptrend, then our move trade is gonna play out absolutely beautifully. The best thing here is that Bitcoin is leading the way and altcoins are lagging a little bit behind. So you have time to play this out. You have time to put in your trades. You just need the strategy and to stick with it. I realize I'm ranting for so long on each single project here. I want to talk about Ethereum as well before we move on. Ethereum, I actually don't want to talk about Ethereum now when I think about it. Oh my god, look at this. All the way back here we're trading Ethereum. I think this is important to see as well. Sometimes you're not interested in projects. I think Ethereum is just like, it's one of the big projects just trying to keep its value, trying to pump. But when we look here, Ethereum, it's just been struggling so much. I don't think it's that interesting. I enjoy trading the altcoins and the things born on Ethereum way more than Ethereum. I think the Ethereum fees and all of that stuff, it's just so much. I loved it so much when it was mineable, when we had the mining community. I was myself a miner. Hundreds of GPUs over many years. So much fun. But right now, I think Ethereum it's just not a lot of fun. Ethereum just entered a solid downtrend confirmation here on the daily time frame. And on the 4-hour time frame, I bet we've been there for quite a while. Yep. Do you see how identical to Bitcoin this is? This is just no fun. We look at Bitcoin, we don't care about Ethereum. Yes, you can trade it, but you might as well just trade Bitcoin. I think Ethereum is just a smaller version of Bitcoin in how it plays out on the market, and you're gonna end up being shaken around by the big players a bit more. Bitcoin is a little bit harder to move. Ethereum, actually don't care about it right now. I'm not even gonna look at it. XRP, a funny one. All of the normies out there. Oh my god, we traded XRP all the way down here. I can't believe it. Okay, so what is gonna happen with XRP right now? It had such a solid run all the way up here. Absolutely glorious. But do you see the pattern here? It's so similar to Bitcoin as well. All the same whales, all the same bots, all the same thing trading this project. It's just the same. If we look at the support and resistance lines, I would bet we have one on $2 right here. Touching many times. Doesn't want to fall below. That's a good sign. Somewhere around here is going to be another support and resistance line. And XRP is a little bit funny with its numbers. The downtrend confirmation here as well. Here it broke out. What is it gonna do next? I think this is not how we're gonna play this out. It's gonna be over too long of a time frame. I think this is gonna play out like this. We have Move deciding in a couple of days on what it's gonna do. We have XRP deciding in a couple of days of what it's gonna do. Honestly, this is not looking too good for XRP. It's actually below the support and resistance level right here. I think XRP is actually gonna head down here unless it breaks through. If Bitcoin doesn't break through 100k, I think shorting XRP here is a solid move. The only fun thing you would see here is if you look back on the trend trading indicator, it's actually notified you to short XRP way back, all the way back here. So you can actually use the trend trading indicator to see if it's gonna break through or not. If it heads into an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, we could actually trade this. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've been having so much more fun just trading the altcoins, the shit coins and meme coins. So I'm gonna stick to that. I'm not gonna trade XRP, Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, but I think it's important to look at them, see how they're playing. XRP is playing a little bit more like a meme coin, altcoin. Ethereum is playing like a messed up Bitcoin basically. And Bitcoin is trading like Bitcoin. A complete open war with everyone from your random dude running around on the battlefield with no swords, no gear, to the guy with a solid 10,000 people army running around slaughtering people. That is what Bitcoin is right now. So that is the update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. Now let's move on to some fun stuff. A question I get quite a bit here is just how do I find all of the new projects to track, trade and similar? We're actually using exchanges in order to filter out the new projects to trade. Exchanges are lovely for filtering out projects. Let's actually head over to Twitter here and let's head over to MEXC. And they are listing so many new projects on their Kickstarter. I would suggest actually signing up on MEXC, links down below. Reason being is because they list so many new projects in their Kickstarters. You can actually get free tokens by staking your MX tokens. But the main reason here is just that they are listing projects so freaking early that you can actually get in on projects early. I have a very good example here. We have Act on Binance. So this is what it looks like on Binance, but you actually didn't have time to enter it here at all. I don't know. I think this graph is adjusted after the fact because this was not here when ACT was listed. It just went straight down. But if you traded ACT on MEXC, look at this. You had all of this opportunity here to enter ACT before. Absolutely glorious. So we are using exchanges as a filter. For the big trades, we are using Binance and BYBIT, links down below. For the smaller trades, the volatile trades, the big gains trade, the 500% plus trades, and sometimes even the 100x trades, we are using MEXC. That is where you can find super early projects. I am tracking some new projects. I can show you guys like kind of the process and how it looks like. I find a project here that I think has potential and I track it. I don't gamble on it. I wait and trade with my strategy. I think this is the biggest misunderstanding most people have here in the crypto market, is that they try to find a project early and just get into it and hold. But most projects, they just end up going to zero. So you just end up losing your money. You need to have a strategy, stick to it, have your sword ready, enter the battlefield with your community and just slice and dice and cut people down and take their money. If you don't have that strategy, you are going to be the one getting sliced. That is the thing. Imagine you show up to the battlefield, you have no sword, you have nothing. Me and my community each show up with a sword each and we just start cutting people down. You are gonna stand no chance at all. So you need that strategy, you need the community, and then you need to find the projects and trade them. Let's talk about a project here and I'll show you guys the strategy and kind of like how I do this. So this is just a simple meme. Plankton in pain is a meme popping on Instagram, on TikTok and similar, and it's a project that very simply could do a 100x. Reason being is because it's a famous meme. It's been listed on exchanges. It's starting the filtering process. It's not been rug pulled yet. I think the project is fairly safe because it's been listed on an exchange. We are waiting for more exchanges to list it. Have I entered the project yet? No, that is the key thing here. I'm keeping a long list of projects that we're tracking every single day. We're gonna talk about it in the community. I'm talking about it in my team. We're posting about it in the Patreon, and we're just keeping you guys up to date when we're entering the trade. We're filtering so many projects. I just can't go through all of them here. And I know most of you guys are gonna FOMO so goddamn hard. It's your biggest problem. You see your project like right now when I'm talking about this, most of you guys are probably thinking like, oh shit, if I enter the project right now, I'm gonna buy it before it pumps because this guy has talked about it on YouTube. It's probably gonna go 100x. That's not how it works. This project could go down 90% from here, but we wait for the project to get listed for leveraged trading on an exchange. Then we use our indicators, our strategy, our army, and we enter a position and ride the trend. If the trend is down, we short it. If the trend is up, we long it. Both directions are fine to make massive amounts of gains. The beautiful thing here is if we trade the trend, we are gonna be in on the project if it makes 100x. Imagine here, if the project enters an uptrend here, it goes plus 20%. The project is in a confirmed uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. We enter the project with a long position, 2x leverage, and then from there it gets listed on another exchange. It goes 10x, 20x, and we're sitting there with a 2x leverage position, hundreds of thousands of dollars in that position, just waiting for it to get listed on Binance, and then it gets listed on Binance, and then you make that 50x on top of that, and then you retire. That is the entire strategy, but you need to follow the trend along the way. What if you enter a long position, it goes for a 3x, and then it goes 99% down after that? Then you need that strategy. You cannot just blindly follow, but that is the simple process. I would recommend everyone to sign up on MEXC down below, BYBIT as well. I have a bunch of links to a bunch of good exchanges that I use to filter out projects like this. You take all the projects you like, you trust yourself to filter out the projects that you think are hype. You cannot go for every single project because there are too many projects. I love this meme, so that's why we're following this here. And then we're simply just gonna take our strategy and put it on top of this project, and we're gonna play it like any other project. And that means that we're not gonna miss out on dips, we're not gonna miss out on pumps, we're not gonna miss out on listings. We are gonna be in it for the long run, and we're gonna do this on multiple projects over a long duration. And that is how you end up nailing some of the bigger trades. As you saw in the beginning of the video, talking about Move, 122% gains. Imagine if this was a meme coin and we've been trading the trend here like this, putting in a position, it would be thousands of percents of gains. So now you know how to find the projects, how not to feel too much FOMO and just enter the projects. You need your strategy and you need exchanges to filter out the projects for you, and you just stick to your strategy. Let's talk about my personal strategy. This is something that I guess most of you guys are watching the video for, to see my own personal strategy. We've been talking about a bunch of projects. I think grass is going to be a beautiful project here to talk about. This is one of those trades that played out absolutely perfectly. This strategy is based on trend trading. This is not hype or following the latest trend or anything like that. This is trend trading on the graph, looking at cash flow, looking at liquidity, looking at volumes being traded over time in different directions, making a decision from that in combination with technical analysis. Pretty basic technical analysis, but also many years, almost 10 years of experience. That is, for example, why I could put out this squiggly line right here. Even before the graph played out, I put this out here and then the project followed it perfectly. It's just beautiful. That is things you learn over time. When you have many years of experience, you will be able to put out the squiggly lines as well. It's just for fun. It actually doesn't add anything. It's just a tiny little flex that I do sometimes. But how do we utilize this strategy? First, we have the trend trading indicator. It's a custom indicator that I have made that you do get access to in the memberships. You can request technical analysis with the trend trading indicator, and of course you can buy the trend trading indicator here as well. So my own custom trend trading indicator right here, I've been developing over many years, and as an example here, we have loss online. Most of you guys have seen loss online. I bought the loss online. It's over $2,500 just to be able to utilize it for the development on my own trend trading indicators, backtesting hundreds of projects, and I'm just not gonna give it away for free. That would be absolutely stupid. But that is what I utilize in order to guide me into actually entering the projects. Then I use technical analysis. So for example, let's watch grass here from the beginning. Grass was listed. A lot of people were hyped for the project. I did not enter grass back here because we don't have a trend. I am sticking to my strategy. The reason for why I'm sticking to my strategy is because it works over time. This is all about the gains that we make over time. This is not just a one-time thing. You make one trade and you retire. You are gonna have to trade for quite a while in order to make enough money to retire. If we go and look at the gains we make every single week, now 3 weeks in a row, we have been making massive amounts of gains here. Let's head over to my profile. You guys have seen the updates on Patreon every single week. 100% success rate on the trades. It's absolutely beautiful. That is how we win over time. Let's say you enter with $1,000. Let's actually calculate this here. I brought up the compound interest calculator here just to show the entire point here. Let's say you work and you put out a bunch of money to the side here. Let's do a realistic number, $5,000. If you have way lower amounts of money than this, I would actually suggest working in order to make that money, to put it to the side and start trading with. The thing here is I don't suggest starting to trade with like $1,000 because it's too small of an amount. I know most of you guys are sitting here with like $400 and you want to start gamble with that money. I actually suggest working, earning more money, putting to the side. But of course you can start practicing trading right now here as well. The thing is, if you just start trading with $1,000, what's going to happen is that once you start making good trades and making a lot of money, or well, making good returns, like 120% returns, the amount of money that you're gonna make compared to the effort that you put into trading is the risk to reward ratio. It's going to be like too small for your brain to be satisfied by the results. So that's why I usually say like work, make some more money, put some more money to the side and just start doing the trades and gaining momentum. So we have been making massive amounts of gains every single week. 44%, 23%, big gains. Let's just say that you are making a solid 15% per week trading like this. And as you guys can see, we're making way more than that, like 122% in just one single trade here, 32%. We can go even further back and you guys can see here as well, 25%, 22, 31%. Well, CRV was actually a 16% trade. So I guess it's kind of realistic. 15% annually. I know this is going to be, you know, if we do per week, compounding frequency is going to compound weekly. And we're going to do this for 1 year. If you want to add like $100 a month, you could, but we're not going to do that right now. And we calculate. So this is the insane thing right here. If you start with $5,000 and you manage to make 15% a week over a single year, you can retire. I think most of you guys are going to find out pretty quickly. If you're not experienced, you're not going to make 15%. And you might say that as well, like, why am I not sitting with millions of dollars right now if this worked this well? Here is the key thing. As I talked about in the beginning, the smaller you are as a player, you're standing here with your tiny little sword, and you guys are probably standing there with knives or no sword at all, grab your goddamn sword and head into the battlefield. The thing is, when you become a bigger player, when you have a bigger army to move, the impact you have on the battlefield, on the market is going to be bigger and bigger, and it's going to be harder to make and extract money. So the more money you're trading with, the harder it is going to be to actually cash out, and bigger of an effect you're going to have on the market. Imagine you have the market sitting here right now and you want to short this project. You put in a short with $1 million, you're actually going to crash the project so hard. And then people are going to see that as an opportunity, and they are going to buy and pump the project right after. And the second you put in your big trade, you're going to end up losing money. That is what happens when you are a whale. The first times, like 3 years ago, when I started trading with more amounts of money, that is what happened with smaller projects. I was putting in bigger amounts of money, and I actually ended up burning myself a few times just for affecting the market too much with my trades. Like I was putting in a trade and it would make the market move so much that people actually took that as an opportunity. If I longed, they saw me as exit liquidity. So once you make more money, you have to trade it very, very carefully. Let's just set up a realistic goal here. Every single week you try to make 2%, just 2%. You type in 2%, you hit calculate, you start with $5,000. First year, you're gonna be up to $14,000, and 2% is gonna sound like absolutely nothing, and it's not a lot, but compounding this interest over time is what's gonna give you all of your money. If we do it for 3 years, your 5K has turned into $100,000. If you can move it up to just 3% weekly over 3 years, 500K, 4% weekly, 2.2 million. This is the thing here. The percentages don't need to be that big. Just a small percentage every single week. That is why you don't need to FOMO into every single project. You don't need to FOMO into every single new thing that happens, every single movement. You just wait for that perfect opportunity every single week. That is the thing here. Like in the memberships, I post the technical analysis and I post my own personal trades. And sometimes it takes like 3 days and people are questioning like, where are all the trades? Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Requested technical analysis. Nothing has happened. Like I post some updates here and there, and then suddenly, boom, 3 trades are in. Move in along. Kava, Sui, and other trades are in a short. Just a couple of hours later, 100% success rate, big gains on all this. This is just how this plays out. It's very fast, but I wait for the perfect opportunities. I don't play or do all the trades. I just wait for that perfect opportunity. You only need a few percent each week in order to compound your interest over time and make massive amounts of money. So back to grass to finish up the strategy. When we had the opportunity, we had no technical analysis to help us right here. I was just blindly entering the project. So my custom indicator notified us right here. We are in a very strong uptrend. I was like, okay, fantastic. Now we can finally enter the project. What if we bought right here and the project just crashed like crazy? You would end up losing a bunch of money. We wait for the trend confirmation. The reason for why we like to have the trend confirmation as well is because it will let us know when to exit the trade. So right here, we enter the trade. You don't know when to exit here or here or here. You don't know, but you wait for the trend confirmation right here. Right here, we got the trend change and we exited the trade and made a lot of money. Then we can now short the project. This is exactly where we shorted the project. You guys can go and watch all the history on my Twitter or my X account. I posted all over there, all over the Patreon. You guys can see exactly how this played out. I think even these trades I posted making videos as well, so you guys can see it happen live. Go back, watch the videos if you're curious. Then we put in a short position right here. And this is so funny because the project actually pumped straight after, but this is where I put in that squiggly line to show you guys that even when we enter a short position, it can actually start by pumping after we enter that short position. Just riding the short position all the way down here until we get a trend change right here, cashing out on the short position. We have the trend change into a solid uptrend, and then we can hold another long position. But that is just how it plays out. I utilized this technical analysis here in order to get myself a little bit of relief here in case the project pumped right after I put in a short, and it did do so. So that is perfect. I told myself we have this downtrend confirmation right here, and it's probably gonna try to break out because it's right on a support and resistance level. So if you want to implement these things into your own strategy, I'll just get straight to the point. 2 key things here for the technical analysis are the support and resistance levels. I put them in every single time I find a support and resistance level. They are very, very good. We have the trend line indicator here, basically when it tries to break through a trend line. This happens because everyone else is using this technical analysis techniques as well. And then I use these technical analysis tools with my custom trend trading indicator in order to actually enter and exit the trades, because otherwise you don't know exactly when to enter and exit these trades, and you cannot just randomly go by it because you're gonna end up being thrown around by the market by FOMO and fear and similar. A common question I get here as well is just where do I put the stop loss? Usually I put the stop loss at minus 30% gains, but the trend trading indicator is going to notify me way before it's actually triggered. It's just to protect myself, and I can show the perfect example right here. We have the project Cow going in for a massive pump right here when we actually shorted the project, and this was a point where our stop loss was triggered. I put in the stop loss. We entered into profit. I moved the stop loss down so it would protect me from a sudden pump. And this is actually one of the projects you guys can see here of the latest trades. We have Cow, 18% profit on the short. We moved the stop loss into profit so we cannot lose money on the trade. And there it went, it triggered the stop loss. A sudden giga spike from a small, very volatile project like this. When you put in a trade, as soon as the trade is in profit, like 5-10%, we move the stop loss into profits. It's so important. We talked about it right here with the compound interest. If you can make 2%, 4%, just confirm the goddamn profit. Our move trade right now sitting at 122% gains. I'm moving the stop loss, so no matter what happens, we're making a minimum gain on this. Like, let's say I put it at 80% gains, so then we confirm that gain first. That is how I use the stop loss. I protect against random volatility. I don't really protect against making a bad trade. That's just something that's gonna happen no matter what happens. We go for that 2 to 15% weekly. It's just how it's gonna play out. Some weeks are good, some weeks are amazing, some weeks are bad. I put here in my list of things to talk about some common tricks people fall for. Let's talk about some graphs. Let's talk about ACT. This is something I've talked about before. How are people fooled by the graphs? ACT is one of those projects that suddenly got listed on Binance and made so much money for insiders. It's absolutely crazy. So how is this graph fooling you? Most people are watching this graph and they believe pretty much everyone has made a bunch of money trading ACT, but here is the thing. Almost 99% of people are right now in a loss with ACT. All of the insiders buy right here down just before the project pump. In a previous video, I looked more exactly. It was more around here, like $3 million was injected into the project. Then the project is listed on Binance and the project is pumped like crazy. 30 million or so in volume. I think it was more like 15 million now when I think about it. But when we look here, it shows a bigger number. I don't know why they've injected that money after the fact. But when I was looking at this live, I have proof in my previous videos if you want to see it. But when I was looking at this live here, the project was showing around $15 million in volume right around here and pumping like crazy, like a 15x from $15 million. So basically what that means is that 0.01% or 0.1% of people, all the big insiders entering with $3 million right here. Then we have the regular insiders on Binance and similar just buying right here. People down here already making like $50 million to $100 million right here. All of these people here making so much money. Then the project was released to the average player, to the average trader like you and me right here. And this is where all the cash flows in. If you look at this graph here, most of the volume is right here. We have billions of dollars flowing in and out of the project. If you look at this square here, the project right here, billions of dollars flowing in and billions of dollars flowing out. The project is at the same spot once again right here, meaning all of the money flowing in right here, you see it on the graph right here, all of this money flowing in has then been extracted by the people buying down here. Every single guy that entered from here and up, which is like 99% of the volume of the project when you look at the 24-hour volume, and this is the regular dudes being farmed. Like right down here we have $10 million, right here we have like 15. If we go back and look at the history, I don't know why it's showing 200 million. I think they're trying to hide it or something. This is where people, even if it's 200 million, this is billions here, billions per 24 hours, and this is multiple days playing out here. All of this money is being extracted by the insiders. Every single guy that bought from here up to here is now basically where they were when they bought or at a loss. Most people up here, the reason for why they have not made any money, if you look like from here to here, is like a 30x. No, that's even more. 40x, yeah. I need to make this more clear to you guys. Everyone that bought here, down here, and is now up here, they have made a 40x. And the 99% of people that bought all the way up here, this is just a 2x, not even a 2x. People are not gonna sell from a simple 2x or 50% gains. And then it goes down and they're like, oh, I'm just 50% gains. I'm not gonna sell at 50% gains. I'm gonna hold. And the insiders down here are extracting more and more and more money. And then there are people buying here are back to zero. And now they're even at a loss down here. Now, the project did have a pretty happy pump right here. But as you can see now, it's even further down. It's just amazing that the insiders buying right down here, they are making all the money. They are going from basically zero to almost 100x right here, and every single regular dude buying here and here, you know, the project is below. All of the volume is up here, $1 billion, 1 billion, like almost $2 billion. All of the volume of the project is right here. You can go look at CoinMarketCap yourself if you want to. Every single guy buying right here. We can see that most people enter the project right here when it's hyped up. Most people enter the project right here when it's hyped up. Every single guy, like 99% of people buying ACT right now is in a loss. But to the average guy, it looks like 99% of people are in a profit. But 99% of people are at a loss. You need to understand this. This is you. This is every single random guy signed up on Binance, seeing a new project being listed, like, oh my god, it pumped. The project did like a 50x, it's probably gonna do another 50x. I need to get in on this project, and they are being farmed like crazy. These are the regular people entering the project with no weapon, going out into the battlefield. They don't even have a sword. They're standing out there on the battlefield, completely naked, no team, no friends, no army. And the people farming them are the insiders. It's Binance and similar, and they don't even have a big sword. They have a complete army to cut you down. Every single guy that entered ACT all the way up here, like 99% of people, they have been completely drained already. They have lost a lot of money. And as we all know, like 99% of all meme coins being listed, over time they just go to zero. So projects like this, if you miss the pump, just trend trade it instead. Develop a strategy, backtest it, trend trade it, short it instead. Do whatever you need to do, but you cannot fall into this simple trap. It's so obvious when you look at the trading volume that most people enter the tops. I can show you guys another quick example here as well. It's just SHIB is just absolutely crazy. The same thing here. Look at the trading volume here, like 300 mil and similar. It's not that much. And then when the project starts peaking, 18 billion all the way. Did you see that? $39 billion in 24-hour trading volume. The amount of money flowing into this project here, when you compare it to the absolute low amount of trading volume down here, if you look at the numbers itself, once again, if we pull this into Paint, you guys need to understand this. 99% of people entered SHIB right here, and within just a couple of days, they were at a loss. 99% of people were at a loss with SHIB. You think 99% made money? 99% are at a loss. Even the people buying down here, if they just held for long enough, they were extracted too. 99% of people lost all of their money, or well, like 70-80% of their money with SHIB. It's absolutely crazy. Let me head into TradingView and show you guys here just once again how crazy this is. 99% of people buying all the way up here, and if we just do a simple, like around here, most of the volume was 85% loss. 99% of people lost 85% of their money trading SHIB. And you look at the graph and you think like, oh, 99% of people made money trading SHIB. That's just not how it works. Meme coins are a machine for extraction. It's the army standing out on the battlefield, ready to cut you down. And it's just a bunch of plebs running in there with no weapons, no strategy, no army, and they're just being massacred and slaughtered and cut down. I want to answer some simple questions here that I get on the YouTube channel. I get a lot of questions here from you guys. I bought this and any project, name any project, and it went down. What do I do? I think you should accept your fate that you enter the project without knowing what you're doing. You had no strategy. You have no weapon. You are standing there weaponless, and I'm standing there with my community, each and every single one of us having a sword, ready to cut you down and take your money. So I thank you for your money that you enter the market without a strategy. Please learn from this mistake. Just take your loss, take the money back as much as you can, and just learn from this. develop a strategy, backtest it for hundreds of projects, run the strategy over time, get comfortable with it, insert more money, and then over time compound that into millions of dollars. We talked about this here. You only need 4% a week over 3 years to do $2 million bucks if you start with 5K. It's absolutely amazing. You need to let the compounding do the work for you, and you just aim for small percentages every single week. Okay, next question. I'm going to buy the next 1000x. That's just simply not gonna happen. Thousands of meme coins are being basically created, rug pulled, listed, dumped on, money being extracted. The meme coin market is a complete extraction machine. The entire system is set up in order to extract your money. So please just don't go around buying and holding random meme coins. I'll do a very good comparison here so you can understand how it works. As I talked about in the beginning of this video, the entire crypto market is a battlefield. And when you enter the battlefield, you will have to have a weapon. You will have to have your sword so you can cut people down. You will have to have your strategy. You will have to have your team, your army. If you don't have that, you are gonna be slaughtered on the battlefield. And this is the thing here that happens when you take your money and you put it into the market. That is officially you entering the battlefield. And if you don't have your sword, your little army, your team, or your strategy, you are standing out there on the battlefield completely naked, ready to be cut down by anyone. That could be me, that could be Binance, that could be anyone trying to get your money. I will be standing there with my sword, and I'm ready to cut down any of you guys. The second you put your money out in the market, the money is free for the taking. So you need that strategy. The second you enter the market with your money, you have entered the battlefield. Your money is ready to be taken by other people, and you are there to take other people's money. But how are you gonna cut people down without a weapon? How are you gonna take their money without a strategy? How are you gonna be getting the support, the information that you need without a team? You need all of those things before you enter. So if you're thinking about finding the next 1000x meme coin or 100x meme coin, first, it's simply not gonna happen. And the second thing is that you are gonna be generating a lot of money for me and all of the other people out there on the battlefield with many years of experience. I've got almost 10 years of experience doing this. I'm just gonna keep on farming it. Every single time there is a guy entering the battlefield without swords, without weapons, we just farm them. We cut them down, we take their money. The market is a completely raw place. It's the same reason everyone is talking like, oh, only put in money that you can lose. Because if you have that mindset, you're just gonna end up losing your money anyways. You might as well just give it away straight from the beginning. It's gonna end up burning you. That's the thing. It sounds mean, but it's gonna end up burning you so hard when you lose that money that then you take a step back like, oh shit, I just got wrecked. And then you're gonna develop your strategy. You're gonna stop gambling. You're gonna backtest your strategy. And then you're gonna put it into action. You are gonna move on to the battlefield with a sword, with a strategy, and you're gonna be in there slicing, dicing, getting your money back. Hyperliquid is one of those projects pumping like crazy right now. There is something massively weird going around with Hyperliquid. If you see here, the market cap, $8.8 billion. Fully diluted market cap, $32 billion. So freaking much money is going to be extracted from this project. It's absolutely crazy. I would bet, I don't know, $10 billion at least is going to be extracted from this project. The thing that is absolutely shady here, that is making me look at this project like, oh, is this a good project to short? Probably. The 24-hour volume is nowhere close to the market cap. I don't see how this project is moving so goddamn fast. I know it's supported by some big people. This is just absolutely crazy. These numbers don't make any sense at all. The fully diluted market cap way too big, the market cap way too big, the volume way too small. Why is the project climbing? There is something weird with this. I have a feeling it doesn't have to play out like this. It could play out like this. There is a chance that this project is waiting to be listed on a place where a lot of liquidity could be added. Let's say it could be listed to Binance. A lot of liquidity could be inserted and billions of dollars is going to be extracted. That is one way that this could play out. All we can do is just wait and see, and meanwhile we trend trade it. The project is moving very, very weirdly. What I'm gonna do is just implement my own strategy, trend trade it like I do with all other projects. We extract as much money from this weirdness as possible. We long it, we short it. That's just the way we're gonna play this game. But this project is behaving very weirdly. There's something messed up with this project. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but this is very, very messed up. What exchanges do I trade on? It's a common question I get as well. Links are down below. I changed the links up, but right now it's gate.io, it's MEXC, and it's BYBIT. I have links to BitGet and other exchanges as well. I would suggest getting accounts on all the exchanges because some projects list earlier on other exchanges. It's just good to have accounts prepared on all the exchanges. There are many reasons for why I use these exchanges. One of them is the fees. The second one is the security and safety. They have a lot of money in stock. The exchanges have been there for quite a while. And I also know from working with these exchanges, they have good collaborations with a lot of people. And that just means that there is interest, there is partnerships, there is money behind the scenes. The exchanges are making money, which is very, very important because if they don't make money, they will go away and they could go away in an ugly way. So as long as the exchanges have money stacked up, they keep making money, they keep working with people, that's where I'm gonna trade. So the big one, gate.io, MEXC, probably the one that I've used the most, and BYBIT, links down below. They have some very good partnerships, they have a lot of money in stock, and they've been here for quite a while. So I gotta go, but summarizing this entire thing, for the love of God, please bring your sword to the battlefield next time and just don't stand there naked, ready to be cut down. As always, I hope you make massive amounts of gains in the market. Until next time, peace.